It's become part of my routine, and the part I always looked forward to the most for a couple of reasons. First, it's just nice to soak. And second, because I see the person I often run into here. He soaks in the pool, head leaning back against the edge, eyes closed. While I may have lost my friendship with Alex, I'd gained a great one with Neferu. Good thing, too, considering he's the only other sapient that's regularly in the palace during the day. I walk over to the benches, beginning to strip off my robe, glancing at the jackal. You know, it's not safe to fall asleep in the bath. Neferu shifts, raising an eyebrow, even though he keeps his eyes closed. I appreciate your concern, and I feel that the sensation of water filling my lungs would be sufficient to wake me. And I was not asleep. I was awaiting your arrival. I walk up to the edge of the pool, Neferu turning his head to look back at me, not even glancing at my naked groin. Appreciative. Really? I didn't think you'd be here. Amicus had told me he had Camian meetings to go to. Briefly, I feel a little upset at the idea that Neferu might stay at the palace to see me while Amicus wouldn't. But only briefly. Things are different for the Emperor. Luckily for me, my presence is no longer requested at such meetings. It matters little. I have direct access to the Emperor anyway. I sigh. You should choose your words more carefully in front of the Emperor's fiancée. Why? Why must you think I always speak in innuendos? Because you do. I jump into the pool. That was a fucking noise. It's not something I usually do, as I'm reminded why, as my entire being burns for a few moments. It's worth it, though, as I come up to see that I've accomplished my goal of splashing Neferu, the jackal, in the middle of pawing water from his eyes. I must say, you become more like him every day. I move to the bench to sit beside the jackal, my own eyes stinging from the salty spring water. Because I'm more willing to shut you up? Yes, crude like the wolves, having to resort to physical methods because they can't use their words properly. I narrow my eyes. Well, talking of shit, then you're gonna get hit. Humans are the same, and I have a feeling jackals are too. How would you know? I have never raised a paw against anyone on this moon. Probably because you know you wouldn't stand a chance. Also, I have seen you fight, first with Alex, and remember you accepted a spar with Amicus a few months back. I seem to have forgotten. Well, I haven't. Took off all your clothes to tease him, and then got floored in like a second. He struck me in the stomach when I was not ready, and very hard, mind you. Their combat techniques are as crude as their words. You weren't ready because you were still using your words after the fight had started. Even though the incident had been a little worrying at the time, I find it mostly funny now, and I smirk at the memory. How was that funny? I had to check into a hospital to make sure he didn't rupture anything. It was very dangerous to do such a thing in what was supposed to be a friendly spar. I think it was the way you went from showboating to making the weirdest noises after you fell on the ground. Amicus probably did allowed a lot of his built-up frustration in that attack. Unfortunately, it resulted in even more tension between the two of them, which makes things difficult because I like them both. I guess Neferu, at least, still talks official business with Amicus. Neferu huffs. And like that blow, bringing that up is rather low of you. He's right. My mood is a bit strange today, and just like with Virginia, I find myself being more blunt. I shrug. Well, so was making shitty comments about the wolves, about all wolves. Neferu sighs loudly, seemingly at a loss for words. A rare sight. I start to feel a bit guilty and clear my throat, changing the subject to the subject I'm not really sure how to explain to the jackal. So, I'm leaving tomorrow. Neferu's eyes light up. So I've heard. Which is why I wanted to be sure that I would see you today. Though I'm starting to regret it considering your mood. I slump against the ledge. Sorry. I'm feeling weird today. I'm just overwhelmed with everything that's happening. Well, you'll be returning, won't you? Yeah. Just not sure when that might be. Obviously, Amicus wouldn't have told Neferu about our situation. Maybe even if the parents directed him to. I'm guessing it was Virginia who told him I'm leaving. This is a temporary trip, is it not? You're engaged to be married, after all. I shift a little under this intense gaze. Yeah, but I miss my planet. I just need to be home for a while, so it might be a while. Neferu's quiet for a moment. Does a while mean weeks? Months? I look away over the surface of the steaming water. Maybe a bit longer. Years. It's more of a statement than a question. Maybe. Well, I must say that I was rather shocked to hear of your sudden plans for departure. That you would not tell me earlier. Half-heartedly will the parents to send me a signal that I can just tell Neferu everything. But like always, all is quiet in space. But now I'm less surprised, considering that it sounds like you yourself did not realize you would be leaving. I just didn't know how to tell you. That, or you're hiding something. I look at him. What? Oh, William, you're not nearly as subtle as you think. Like I said, you're becoming more like Amicus every day. What do you mean? Well, your sudden interest in galactic affairs for one, but mostly it's your mere presence here in the first place. It makes little sense. Oh yeah? I kind of hope that Neferu figures it out on his own, considering that would dodge the issue of me telling anyone. Oh yes. If I were to guess, you are currently being trained by Adastra to assimilate your people with the children of the wolves. I physically recoil at the idea, even though he's incredibly close. What? Hell no! I'd never do that to my people, or any people. Despite Amicus being emperor, and despite his slow but steady improvements to the wolven children, it's still not a situation I would put Earth in willingly. Neferu raises his eyebrow again, seemingly convinced by my reaction. We regard each other for a moment, and Neferu blinks first. So you really won't tell me? I didn't say I have a secret to tell, though. You're just assuming. Honestly, I'm a bit hurt that you feel you can't trust me with this information after all this time. Now I raise an eyebrow. Neferu, you haven't told me anything about your own situation on your planet, along with your family. Well, you've never asked. Because I know it's personal. You dodged the topic whenever I brought it up. It's a very long story, first of all. And second of all, it's a story about me being a selfish, foolish brat. Of course I wouldn't want to tell you. But if I tell you, would you tell me? I think. Somewhat tempted to make him tell his story, then just lie about mine, but only for a second. I sigh. No, I'll only be able to when I come back. Neferu's impish nature deflates pretty quick. Well, at least you're honest. I suppose I'll trust you that it's rather important and not my place to know. I admit that I am still hurt by all this, but that's not something I admit often. Sorry. I promise you'll understand once I'm back. Again, I wonder if I'm already admitting too much. But years? I can't predict where I'll be in that amount of time. Back on Camia? Possibly, if all goes well. I'll visit. I'm a citizen, remember? Well, they rarely allow use of the stretch for only visits. But being the Emperor's husband might make that easier. Yeah, I'll convince him. It seems to bring the issue of my sudden departure to a close. We sit there in silence for a while. Then I place a hand on Neferu's knee. Oh no. It's not something I would have done in the past, considering the Jackal's reputation, but nothing about it feels sensual. Instead, I do it more out of pure solidarity and friendship. And I wanted to say thank you, Neferu, for everything. I don't think I'd be alive if you weren't there for me. I know you had your reasons, everyone did, but thank you. It is the duty of all Camians to protect any sapient fleeing wolven violence, whether they be sibling, child, or, as you happen to be, abandoned. I'll believe that after I visit Camia and have a look for myself. I'll be your tour guide. And Neferu, you can still tell me what's going on with your family if you want. Definitely not. Do you really want to know? The situation is complex, unresolved, and seems to always be changing. I mean, yeah, I'd like to know. It seems really important to you, but it feels unfair that I'd make him tell me his clearly painful story without my own. Again, when I'm back, then we can trade. Deal. Neferu stands up, stepping onto the bench before reaching down to pull me up. Now let's go for a walk before your wolf returns. I'd like our last conversation to be of happier things. I take his paw, letting him pull me up, and two of us step out of the pool, a towel off and dress. Neferu is easily able to shift the conversation to things that are light and interesting, and it almost makes me forget that I'm leaving. And so this Wolverine actually believes that the Imperial family would even consider apologizing for the war. Absolutely asinine, if you ask me. Sounds reasonable. What? No, William, it is not. We suffered the heaviest casualties. But wasn't it started by the Empire? No, it was started by the Camian provocation. Haven't you learned the history? Well, yeah, but attacking a planet full of sapient children wasn't the best way to respond. We attacked the Camian bases with weaponry which happened to be on a planet full of children. They were never fired on directly. So says the Adastran history books. Why would you assume that? It's not a good argument to just whip out assumptions that are these lies. That these are lies. Sorry, my father never lied. I'm basing it off what I've learned from Camian history as well. I'm not only learning about Adastra, you know. Amicus is quiet, still looking huffy, so I lean over to my side of the couch to touch his shoulder. Listen, I'm not saying your father's a liar. I'm saying that sapiens are as a whole. I know, because humans do the exact same thing when we write our history. You should have a bit more pride in your species. How will you lead the humans otherwise? Actually, I think pride is the biggest wolven problem. Ooh, Amicus just goes quiet. I think I hit a sore spot about talking about his dad, and although I'm enjoying our usual somewhat intense banter, I don't have as much energy as usual. Sorry, I shouldn't talk about things I don't understand. Amicus looks at me with surprise. What? No, I do want you to talk to me about these things. I might seem upset, but I already told you I enjoy debating. I wave away Amicus's rush to smooth things over. No, me too. I'm just a little tired today. What I want to talk about is what's about to happen to me. About how I'm starting to lose my courage at the last minute. How I don't want to do anything except stay on this couch, but I can't tell. I can tell Amicus doesn't. He came in with these stories of the day right away, as if this wasn't our last night together. While it had been easy to pretend with Neferu, it's much more difficult seeing Amicus put on such an act to, I assume, make me feel better. Amicus, I don't know if I can... Amicus suddenly holds up a paw. Wait, William, I know, but please, let's have this night together. I promise you the situation will become clearer for you. Just give it a little more time. That gives me pause. It's like Amicus knows something that I don't. And trust me, because we are traveling back to Earth together, so we will have plenty of time to discuss whatever you wish. Because I start to glisten as just slightly as he holds back tears, then clears his throat. But for now, I think it's preposterous that they expect me to apologize. I watch Amicus for a long time, realizing that he might be right. He's in constant contact with the parents, and I've respected the fact that he can't tell me what they say unless given specific permission to do so. And though the feeling is unnerving, there's also some comfort in the idea that maybe something will help me in the last minute, and Amicus seems to know that. On top of that, he knows how hard this is going to be. We both do. But he wants to save the tears for the end, and so do I. So, well, if it's just the Imperial family apologizing, that's actually asking for very little to create an alliance. It's one of many demands, and they simply want to humiliate us, all because Nephru managed to get his balls kicked in. I mean, the Pharaoh's son. You should honestly consider yourself lucky no one else saw you hit him. He's an easy one to hit. What does he expect always, leaving himself wide open? He deserved it both times. I sigh. Be nice, Amicus. But I lean into him, and he finally pulls me into his lap, nuzzling my hair. We talk for a while longer, the two of us trying to stay awake as long as possible. I finally manage to relax a bit, and finally my eyes grow heavy, and Amicus's warm breath puffs steadily against my head. I imagine this moment folding into a pocket of infinity, made to go on forever, no responsibilities gone, the coming trials never to arrive. But time does march on, because without realizing it, I start to fall asleep. You are on the right path. I grasp blindly at the sound of his voice. Help me! I don't know what to do. My feet slide quietly across the rug and marble, leaving Amicus behind on the sofa. Apologies for the extended silence. But why? I don't know what I'm doing. But you do. I walk deliberately in the direction I know to go, my only distraction being the furious twitching in my left eyelid. Oh, twitching? You twitching? You needed time to learn about yourself, to learn about the Galaxias, to steel your resolve, and now you are ready to forge ahead. But I'm not. Then, would you like to glance through the eyes of the parents to see what lies ahead? Yes. How do I even begin? Instructions for the first steps in your assignment will be given upon your arrival back to Earth. But what we want to show you is instead what is possible, what is guaranteed if you follow all of our directions, or instructions. He senses my confusion. Instead of telling you, we can show you. My left eyelid flutters, and everything starts to fade. 8 years passed by in a cosmic microsecond. You return to Adastra a changed man. You find Amicus changed as well. What does not change are the feelings between you. The thread connecting you to your wolf never breaks, never wavers, a constant reminder of where you belong. I'm speaking like this because this feels like propaganda. And when you see him again, you will know this. You will spend the rest of your life with Amicus. A long life. You worry that what is ahead is too difficult. Instead, the worst is far, far behind you, and will only grow more distant with the slow passage of time. You marry Amicus. You travel the Galaxius with him, always by his side, never to be separated again as you continue your work. You see creatures and civilizations that no human before you could have ever dreamed of. You experience much. Some of it is difficult and painful, but most of it is beautiful. You carry these experiences with you for the rest of your life. You see Neferu again. You work with him, and he will become your closest ally. And then you return to Adastra 40 years later, your work complete. But much more time is ahead of you. You will make full use of it. You and your wolf change Adastra for the better. Power will shift from the imperial family as Amicus reforms the fabric of Adastran politics. You and your wolf will have more time with each other, and within 100 years the imperial family will formally relinquish its hold on the moon. You spend most of your time with Amicus, and some of your time alone. But all of it is time well spent. He takes you to the lake. He takes you to the city. And 200 years after you first met Amicus, you both retire to a villa on the countryside. You grow old together. For the last 50 years of your life, you create even more experiences with him, somehow just as exciting as the ones in your youth. You defy all expectations and live nearly 300 years. And when the inevitable happens, you slip through to the next plane easily, ending this life in his arms, the smell of lavender, the last sense you ever experience. And then, only a few decades later, your wolf joins you in the amalgamation. You will mingle there for eternity, reliving the best moments of your life with your wolf. Forever. I come to slowly on the floor under the archives. My vision is blurry, and I reach up to wipe away tears. Even now, I feel the incredible warmth and happiness that seemed to overflow from my chest as I lived that. What was that? My future? I'm not sure what to think right now, but for the first time in months, I feel completely at peace. This is my future. I need this future. The sights and feelings were so vivid, so beautiful. I need that life with Amicus. Even though it feels as if the parents are stringing me along with the promise of a reward, I also felt the feelings of my future self. I truly believed in what I was doing, or I guess I will believe. I had mixed and melded with so many different times that I'm a little confused as to what time I'm in now. It takes a moment to become used to seeing time like a human again instead of as a parent. But when I adjust, my heart leaps in my chest at the thought of so much time ahead. The 8 years are nothing. I lie there for a little while longer, catching my breath and then just staring at the blue sky through the opening in the ceiling. Silently, I thank the parents for finally showing me what the point of everything is. I don't like this. With a shaky sigh, I get to my feet, wanting to get back to Amicus's room, wanting to tell him everything, and knowing I can't. I wonder if they let him see as well. I hope so. I take a deep breath, feeling the cool, fragrant night air against my wet face. I stand there for a moment, just happy to be alive. I'm so lost in this euphoria that I barely notice footsteps up the hall. Then voices. Laughing and talking. I just stand in the doorway, recognizing those voices. Cassius, stop. We need to be quiet. Alex's voice is a hushed whisper, though I can tell he's trying not to laugh. Oh, I'm not your tail kitten. What are they to arrest me? Something is odd about Cassius's voice. It's slurred and tired sounding. I don't even attempt to hide as the two of them stumble into view, Alex clinging to Cassius's neck as the wolf tries to keep his balance. Alex giggles while Cassius playfully nips him around his face and neck. Stop, you're gonna make me laugh, someone will hear. Alex spots me and pulls away from Cassius, standing stiffly to the side. Cassius, not having seen me yet, tries grabbing at him, but gets his paws slapped. Ouch, not so rough, my joints ache. He stares at Alex, even though the cat tries to nod in my direction to tip the wolf off. It takes a minute, but eventually the white wolf gets it. What's that? He looks at me, takes a moment to process it, then stiffens up as well. Oh, ape creature. I frown, wondering if he's forgotten my name already. But my focus is mainly on Alex. Hey, Alex. I'm still feeling high and confident from my time trip. Hello? This is good. I actually wanted to talk to you before I leave. Oh, wow, that's the fucking cutoff. Interesting placement. Oh, and it says to be concluded. So the final update will be initiated with a talk with a semi-drunken Alex and Cassius. God, and then that'll lead us into the end. Now, I'm a little concerned about this future that the parents showed us because it really seemed like fucking propaganda. Oh, show him the best thing. As long as he pays attention to what we want, he'll be given all the things he wants exactly. And I've heard that kind of shit before. Back when I was a man of faith. I'm just skeptical. I'm skeptical, but hopeful. And really soon we will have the last update for Adastra. It blows my fucking mind, dude. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. It's gonna be our send-off. It's gonna be sad. And what the fuck is the next project gonna be? Is it gonna be kind of
Sorry, my music dropped out right when you were like, what the fuck is the next project? Just it hit me.
What the fuck is that? Because if you recall, fucking, like, Carl's show version of Adastra is, like, it has Amicus as, like, a space captain or some shit. So maybe it'll be the space adventures that they were talking about where you're traveling from place to place that they alluded to in that 40-year time period. That's a long fucking show. But yeah, like maybe that's what it is. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But anyway, so I guess I'll see you guys on the next update. The last update. Holy shit. Should I stream that? I feel like I should stream that. But no, I wouldn't want to do that and have people join in like at the last second. They should get the chance to fucking see the last update all from the beginning. So, well, for everyone who's like, why are you playing Adastra and not all the other ones? Well, first of all, no one has said that. But like, if anyone has been thinking that in the back of their heads, like, why isn't he playing tennis ace and extracurricular activities? He's just playing Adastra and Echo in the smoke room. Like, is Howley paying him? First of all, yes. No, I'm fucking... Howley ain't paying me shit. Howley doesn't even talk to me. Talks to everyone else, won't talk to me. Howley, send me a message, man. I'm so in desperate need of your validation, it's not even funny. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and I'm actually going to record Echo after this. Of course I am. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and until the last time for Adastra, I've been the Trained Unprofessional, Decker Link, you are not, and I will see you next time. Bye.